John. How are you?
Good, mate. Hope you're well.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I was just wondering, can you please tell us a bit about the service that Borough Cup is providing?
Yeah, of course. So Borough Cup we started in 2018, where Simi assembled a leadership team. We had volunteers as well assembled, and basically all we do is we have implemented reusable cups that go into the Monash cafes. They're cleaned and then put back into cafes after they're used by the campus.
Oh, fantastic. So you started in 2018 and then launched in 2018, is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I reckon that puts you at the growth phase of your business, where I suppose some of the biggest challenges that you have to do with maturity and expansion. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we definitely see ourselves in that category, yeah.
So John, what is Borough Cup's driving purpose?
Definitely sustainability. So we're trying to promote education and basically change the way people view reusable cups. So minimising waste, yeah.
Great. We see you as a social entrepreneur, and from here on, we will endeavour to make sure that everything we do is in line with your purpose, so we can really empathise with your purpose and build our relationship with you.
Sounds good. Well, I guess one of the biggest concerns and issues we're facing is that we obviously are putting a lot of time and effort and resources into Borough Cup. And one of the main questions we've asked among the leadership group is how can we look into obtaining a salary through this startup thing?
That's a fantastic question. So I think it really comes down to what type of business structure or legal structure you're after. So the big question we want to ask right now is, do you want to go for the non-for-profit route or the for-profit route? I'm going to try and give you a bit of an oversight on these two. So if you are a non-for-profit company, what's commonly misunderstood is that people think you then can't make a profit. The truth is you can make a profit as long as that profit is in line with your purpose, which, as you said before, is about sustainability, community and behavioural change.
Yeah.
Now, one of the issues that you might face, should you choose to go down the non-for-profit path, comes up with capital raising, which is probably at the forefront of your brain, considering that you guys are in your growth phase. As a non-for-profit, your main routes of raising money are through government grants or donations if you register as a charity. Should you decide to go down this path and want to register as a charity, speak to us and we'll come up with something in the next few weeks. Now, the other option that you have is to go as a for-profit company, like most other companies. Again, the biggest concern that you'll have is with raising money. To raise money as a for-profit company, your options are angel investors, which as uni students might be parents or family friends or I suppose extensions of yourself, or venture capital firms, or potentially, I suppose, going public. I'm not sure how relevant that is for you now, but these are some of the considerations that you should have in making these decisions.
So we understand that you are all university students. Have you given any thought to your actual business structure?
Well, by going to market really quickly as our priority, we just basically had a lean startup approach. So there's basically no internal structure set.
Have you got anything written down? Have you clarified the roles of any of the members?
No, it's all verbal at this time. So basically the roles are Sim makes all the top decisions, the top line decisions. I deal with people, and then Jess deals with more of the finance and basically the money side of it.
So the lack of formal written agreement might pose some issues for you all later on. We might recommend that you establish a written co-founder agreement to really clearly define the roles and responsibilities of each of the members, just so that we can promote accountability and good governance. Okay, so there are 3 different types of associations. First, you have a sole trader. Now this isn't applicable for Borough Cup as we have more than one person in charge. Secondly, we have a partnership. Now this may have actually already been formed without you guys knowing it, as it's relatively informal and easy to set up. And you've come to us with an idea and a prototype that's already in the market. Now, the advantages of a partnership is that it's informal, easy, the costs are really low at the start and ongoing costs. However, disadvantages is that partnership doesn't have an indefinite life. It actually dissolves when one of the partners becomes insolvent or dies. Also, the partners have unlimited liability, so they are jointly and severally liable for the debts of the other partners. And finally, it's not very easy to transfer ownership of a partnership. So if you didn't want to run Borough Cup anymore and wanted to give it to other volunteers, it might be a bit difficult. Next, you have a company. Now, all the deficiencies of the partnership are kind of answered by a company. So companies are a separate legal entity, so they have their life is unlimited. Also, you don't have the problem with jointly and severable liable debts, as companies have limited liability. And finally, transferability of ownership is relatively easy. However, companies are regulated by the Corporations Act, so they're very highly regulated. There are a lot of things that you have to comply with, and along with that, you have to appoint a board of directors under the Corporations Act, and it actually says that directors have duties to their shareholders, such as acting in good faith for a public purpose, and other stringent duties that you guys would have to comply with. And setting up a company needs to be registered, so there are a few more stringent requirements. Now, a company that you're looking at setting up may either be a company limited by shares or a company limited by guarantee. So if you wanted to go down the limited by shares path, what this means is that there are shareholders that buy into the company and they get paid dividends, and if something goes wrong, the shareholders are only liable for the percentage of unpaid shares that they have. Whereas if you go for a company limited by a guarantee, shareholders are non-existent, you have members, and the members pay a small price such as $10 to be part of the company, and if something goes wrong, they're only liable to this amount that they've paid. Now, companies limited by guarantees are very applicable for non-for-profit organisations if you were looking at going towards that route, because they don't have shares, they don't have dividends, and the company essentially doesn't actually need capital. So it is more applicable if you were thinking of being a non-for-profit organisation given your purpose.
Fantastic. And just on that, given that your purpose is that it's a sustainable company, you're thinking about your business, you're thinking about giving back to the environment and the people at Monash, I think what Georgina explained by the limited by guarantee is probably your best idea, especially going down the non-for-profit path. And that might mean registering with the ACNC, which is the Australian Charities and Non-for-Profit Commission, which involves a bit more paperwork, but will provide you with a pretty clear business structure. So here's a bit of stuff on that. We've also got a toolkit that we can provide you with following this meeting.
Awesome. So thank you for that explanation. I guess another pressing issue is that moving forward, in your opinion, what do you believe could be some of the big issues Borrowcup could be facing?
So I think a genuine concern that you may have might relate to preventing competition. So one of the ways that we can preempt risk and really be proactive about this is by potentially protecting your intellectual property rights. Now, rather than erring on the conservative side of risk, we wanted to ask you, what is your appetite for risk and the appetite for risk of all of the other members of Borrowcup?
Well, we'll definitely discuss this moving forward, but I believe we're not very risk averse. We're quite happy at this point in time to be taking some leap of faith. Yeah.
Okay, so after the meeting we can provide you with a risk register just so that we can give you more comprehensive advice specifically tailored to how risk averse you and the other members are. But for now, we'll explain the intellectual property rights law.
Fantastic. So as you might be aware, since you're a new and novel company, you may want to apply for a patent to make sure that you're the only person who can roll this out. However, because you're already in the market, it's no longer a novel idea as it's in the public space. So that rules out applying for a patent. You also could or might have heard of this idea of a copyright. A copyright's really important for authored content, something like music or literature. Again, Borrowcup doesn't fall in that category, so we can't apply for a copyright. How we can protect your hard work is through a trademark. This would involve trademarking your name, Borrowcup, and the logo that you've designed for Borrowcup. What this does is it protects your integrity in two ways. The first way is to make sure that no one else can use your name and not use it with something that's in line with your purpose, something that's not about sustainability, community, providing educational change. Or alternatively, use it in line with the purpose but kind of copy your idea and use your hard work almost against you. So as you said, you saw risk almost as an opportunity. You're not risk averse. So what this might mean is that trademarking might not be something you want to spend money on right now, but perhaps it's something you want to invest in the future to protect your hard work. If you wanted to do this, it's important to know that it's not very expensive. It provides you with about 10 years worth of protection, and you can extend that based on paying for your registration and upcoming fees when they occur, and that will ensure that you're able to protect your business and the integrity of your hard work.
Okay, so to summarise everything, we think you should go down the non-for-profit route, we think you should be a company limited by guarantee, and we think you should consider your intellectual property rights. And we will send you a follow-up email explaining all of this.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.